Hey everybody, welcome back to the tax show for people who owe. I'm Dave.
And I'm Phil.
And today we're talking about this expansion of the blockchain. You know, in a prior episode, we talked about cryptocurrency and how that could potentially impact your taxes. Today, we're going to talk about NFT. And I'm assuming that stands for no federal taxes?
Dave, remember, we're on the tax show for people who owe.
Thanks for the reminder, Phil. Based on the recent news, I'm assuming people are making bazillions on NFTs. And Phil's going to tell us a little bit more about what they are. Phil, what is an NFT? What does it stand for?
Well, NFT stands for non-fungible tokens, and really that doesn't mean much to people. So the better way to explain it is think of a collectible, right? Piece of art, a painting that's one of one, right? Just one of a kind. And in the same way, people are making digital assets or media into collectible items through the blockchain.
Through the blockchain. I still don't know what that is, but so tell us who's impacted by trading or anything dealing with these NFTs. What are the categories?
Great question, David. So we have the creators of NFTs, right? And it's grown from maybe 500 in the past few years to now 1.2 million. So we're talking about a lot of people creating NFTs.
More than I knew.
Oftentimes they're called minters as well, but just think of someone who's creating a piece of art, right?
Okay.
You have the buyers and sellers of these artworks as well, right? And so these are the three categories that you can think of, the people who are impacted by any tax consequences that might come from owning, buying and selling these NFTs.
Okay, so my understanding is there's not a lot of guidance out there as to what to do if you're getting involved with NFTs, is that right?
It's still a brave new world, and I think IRS is still figuring out how to issue and what categories to assign to these NFTs. Currently, they're being treated like capital assets.
Okay, so and more recently, we started to get guidance on some cryptocurrencies that we covered in the last episode.
Correct.
So what does that look like? To maybe as a reference.
Right, as I mentioned, as it stands right now, NFTs are going to be viewed as like a stock, right? You purchase for a certain amount, that's your cost basis, and then you sell it for a different amount. And the difference either is going to result in a loss of money or a profit.
Okay, let's start with creators. Do creators or minters, as you suggest, do they have to pay taxes by being a creator?
No, the creation of the NFT itself doesn't trigger a tax event.
Okay.
So that's the simple answer, but every situation is going to vary.
All right, so let's move on to folks who are purchasing or selling. Like most of the folks out there, I'm sure there's more than 1 million. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so just like a stock, when you purchase a stock, there's not a taxable event, but it's when you sell a stock that triggers the taxable event, whether it's a profit or a loss, right? So you can recoup your capital losses, or you may have to pay taxes on your capital gains.
Okay, so if I'm preparing a return this year or next year, and I'm dabbling in NFTs, I know it's very new, what should I be doing?
Tracking your cost basis, that's the number one thing, David, right? Keeping track of what you paid for each NFT and also what you sold it for.
You mentioned stocks earlier. We know what happens downstream for people who don't have cost basis for stocks if the IRS to file a return. Look at our prior episode on SFRs. What do you think is going to happen with NFTs?
It's going to be no different, and that's a very great comment because they're going to treat the transaction in the most basic way, in that you sold it for $100, all $100 is taxable.
And that's where the severe tax implications can happen. Phil, any last piece of advice for people who are dealing with NFTs?
As usual, do something, and in this case, keep good books and records.
As a reminder, everyone, if you have any questions or concerns with NFTs or any other tax matter, especially if you owe, you can download our app and request help. That concludes our show for today, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching today. Please be sure to like
And subscribe.
so you are up to date with all the information you need when you're taking on the IRS.
And as always, do something.